swear the chicks is thicker. Reppin' for the team, that's the bench of Houston Sippers. She don't want your liquor, she don't want your chipper. She poppin' for a legend, that's a real masa flipper. This is for la raza, this is for la raza. I'm in my trap, casa whipping up the damn masa.
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas. We got some Eighth Wonder beer in the building, but he has it hidden.
I'm done with it.
We have producer Rob in the building.
Hello.
You chugged it already?
I did.
And my lovely wife, Marisol. And my multi-talented co-host.
I was thirsty. We're hustling today. You guys are about to take a big trip, so we're getting a lot of things done.
We're being so efficient since the morning.
Working.
Did you know that? So we've been up since we got up early this morning. Had coffee. Left to the storage unit to get what we needed, drop off what we didn't need. We took some of these baubles back. And
we're having to sift through just years of just stuff that I've accumulated, because I'm always cranking out stuff. So it's it's like bobbleheads and posters and we need this and that. And it just starts to, sometimes you just got props from YouTube and wigs. And
he was wanting to get rid of them, but I was kind of hesitant right now. I said, let's not do it just yet. Let's not get rid of the props just yet. Let's wait until we really decide sketches out. Yeah. We're not doing sketches anymore.
Or once we get the ball rolling on YouTube, have my weekly improv show. It was called Wetback Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
That was a long time ago. But I would dedicate time for sure. It was my job to edit everything, upload everything. Ooh. So anytime I pour myself into some shit, usually I'm able to be consistent versus something fell through the cracks. It's well, did you fucking go all in? So yeah.
Hey, now that you guys, because the listeners have been knowing, the podcast that have been listening from the beginning, you guys were just decided to have one car, right? So you're doing everything together. Mm-hmm. Do y'all still have morning routines that are the same now that y'all are kind of doing more things at once, or?
Let me answer this one, then she could give her 2 cents. In a perfect world, I feel like we can step it up in the morning routine department and the evening routine department. Because I feel like we take on so much and we're always going. Chingo de Mayo's over. Now it's time to get ready for L.A., Irvine, San Diego, Oxnard, Hollywood, Ontario. All the planning that goes into moving your whole family. Well, Marisol, she's the one doing all the planning. But my point is what the fuck was your question?
Can our morning? How are our morning routines?
This is what happens. In theory, listen.
No, turn it up.
A ver, bueno.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
You can hear me?
I hear you,
can't
yes.
hear myself.
Are your headphones?
Hello? Oh, there I go. Sorry.
So, in theory, we would like to have a solid morning routine that no matter what, we fucking do.
Okay, why don't you tell them, why don't you say what we kind of started to do? And
we kind of started to do, but yeah, it's not an actual routine then.
Okay.
A couple times, we sat in the backyard, meditated. I don't know if we journaled.
We did.
Okay, journal, meditated. Just get your mind right. Sharpen sharpen the axe first before you just start cutting wood. Meditate, journal, have a moment to ourselves. Have our coffee, and breakfast, and that will be the morning. Boom! You already meditated. You already journaled. You ahead of the game. You're at least approaching the day with a little sense of just being centered and just grateful. You're just starting off in a good mood, mental space. But it's get up, babysitter's here, get, baby, boom, coffee, gotta go, storage, boom. Okay, where's your meditation? I kind of halfway, I need to finish it later. Did you journal?
Sometimes in the car.
Did you journal? No, not yet. So it's little things that.
But I will tell you this, for the last, I'm going to say a week or so, we've done a good job of immediately after the baby goes to sleep, we have dinner together with no gadgets, no nothing. We just sit there. How was your day? Even though we work together and we live together and we do everything together. I hate that. Sounds like, damn.
Attached.
Yeller. But, it's been really nice to sit there and ask, how did you feel about this? How do you think we could execute these things
just
better?
Chit-chat. Not even business all the fucking time.
Yeah. Or just you know what I read today, or what I came across today, or you know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that. So that's been kind of nice, and we've been doing it now. That's actually been a little routine for a hot minute right now.
That's kind of, I guess, more of an evening routine.
Yeah, evening routine that we've kept up.
Kind of try to go to bed early because I'm old.
We
you
need
gotta get up
we
so
need
early.
to
You
got
do
a
better
baby,
at that.
yeah.
We need to do better at going to bed early. We do it when Mickey is with us because we have to get up even earlier
To get up, get
to
her
get
ready
up
for
to
school.
get up ready for school.
And I got to drive cross town to Pearland, Texas.
So, so when we have Mickey, we kind of really, I'm like, hey, it's 11 o'clock. So
Yeah, what's early,
let's
what's late
cut
for the
it.
Blings? Because I feel like y'all are up pretty late.
Yeah, we are. I think 12:30 is usually
Late.
bedtime.
That's late.
Now. I mean, come on, man. For years, it was like, it's only 2.
That's right. That's
Man,
you know?
when we had, I was just
Brr.
telling him this the other day. I've been telling you this lately. When we had didn't have Penny, and we didn't have Mickey, like it wasn't his week to have her or whatever.
It was almost like I'm a bachelor and you just coming over.
Yes, it was. It was
What's
like,
up, boo? You good? Okay,
hey,
cool,
it'd
yeah.
be
What's
like,
your load off? Baby,
hey,
take
do you
your
want to
shoes
go?
off.
You want to go
hungry?
here? Sure, let's go to here. It's like,
What you feel like doing? You bored? Fuck it.
he
Let's go to
used
Target.
Wait, yeah, it was like that.
Uh-huh.
It was like, you're bored. Go. Let's. You
And
want
then
to go?
hey, you fuck around, forget. Oh shit! Wait a minute, the kids are. We got
Yeah,
kids,
right.
They sleep. No,
Yeah.
can't go to Target.
And he used to take me on dates. We haven't been on dates anymore since we had children. Like since
Used
I
to
had Penny.
have dates.
And now we haven't had a date.
Ain't had a date in
So-
a minute.
Our-
She's writing her beef rap, her
I know,
diss
right?
rap against me.
She's Ariana Grande right now.
Used
Talking
to
about her
take me
exes.
out on dates. Ain't had a date in a minute. Boy, you need to step up your shit.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, he just rapped it for me.
You know
No,
what I'm
just play.
Ready?
No, I'm not rapping. But
got
you know
the beat
what's
machine right
when it is cool is when we are on tour. Like when I go with him, that's actually our dates because
Oh,
you
yeah,
know we
yeah.
don't
Hey,
have.
let's walk.
Let's go walk here. Or let's
walk
go
to
exercise.
Starbucks.
You
Wanna go to the
ready?
gym after?
Gym. You know, we actually get up, and it's funny because it's like we don't get up too late anyway. But it's kind of like, all right, you ready
Because
to
it's
get
show
up?
day and I have a little bit of anxiety anyway.
So he's like, are you ready?
I
I'll
just
be
know
like,
I have a compromiso. Like, I got some
Right.
shit to do later. I can't let my guard down all the way.
And by the way, this is the first year where we've been trying flying in the day of a show versus a day before the show.
Oh, really?
This is the first year. We've never done that before. So we've always flown in the day before. He has a whole day to settle in, kind of go out and
recover
about.
from traveling.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It would lately. It's been land. You have a few hours to recover.
So I don't know
before.
if you really want to take that nap. Yeah, I'll probably because I mean, it's one of those like you might want to just go get lunch.
And I give him the option, like, do you want to do it? He's like, nah, it's less time there, and it's
Less time away from the kids.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
kind of how he
And
feels.
force myself to like what we've been talking about, like landing and being able to just take on whatever gets thrown at you. Just
Right.
be able to.
The struggle of being on the road
Yeah.
with a baby.
No baby.
Oh, I know, but like I'm having a baby.
Oh yeah. Having
Wanting to
and
get back,
and usually,
basically.
and if he is going to go the day before, just for whatever reasons to promote or whatever it is, he'll fly now on his own, and then I come in on the day of, and then I'll stay until
we
the
did
last.
we did it that way a few times.
Yeah, a
too.
few times too. Lately, it's been day of, fly back the next day after the show. So I mean, we always fly back right after the show, but we've never done in and out like we've been doing lately.
I think you might have said that when we were in Corpus and we were at a diner after the shows, late as fuck. That after all the shows, but you're like, yeah, it's kind of like date nights, when we're on
Yeah,
the road without the kids.
and let me tell you something else. It's more relaxing, believe it or not, when we're on the road versus when we're home.
I bet.
That's why I'm looking forward to LA because I have access to zero things that we have access to at home. So I'm looking forward to
Like what? What do you mean? Like
when
what's a
we're
distraction?
here,
Too
we're
much
always
stuff?
distracted. Like for some reason, it's like go here, go there. We need to do this. Have we done this?
Because that to me sounds like a lack of delegation.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it sounds like.
Well, we don't have other people to
Yeah.
delegate
Right,
to.
that's
so
true.
I
So
mean,
and funny you say that as we're like organizing stuff in here. I'm kind of getting giddy for the opposite of like, all right, I don't have an existing brick and mortar business right now, so I'm kind of like running a side of the business
Yeah.
while you guys aren't here. So I'm like, all right, cool, back to like doing some managerial type shit.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Inventory.
Yeah.
we appreciate that too because it's kind of hard when we're gone. That was kind of one of our things that we were like, what's going to happen if someone orders merch?
Right,
How's that going
yeah.
to get shipped out?
Yeah, so we're talking
I'm going to
e-commerce.
drop
yeah.
I'm going to drop something here while we're gone.
Sign up for the email list
So-
at chingobling.com.
Yeah, Feria Fridays. You can get your discounts, get your information. But yeah, we're about to kick off a whole, like y'all saw the Chingo de Mayo campaign. The next campaign is like getting my web store, my e-commerce, like my tour merch, make it available for folks. But we'll tell you more about that later. But we want to do it right. We want to just make it like a dope shopping experience every which way to where it's executed perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's really about a balance, and I guess we're working on having better balance and
efficiency
and all that, and as you know,
and picking and choosing, because everything you commit to, it's gonna take away. It can potentially take away from something else, or get in the way of some, or start to overwhelm, or it just requires more time, energy, more of your attention.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what's funny? You know how we've been going to these workouts with Sean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we needed a massage so bad because we were like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, me too. I was like, and we were both so annoyed because everywhere we were going to, we weren't making appointments, number one. So that was the issue. But we wanted one like right now. We don't want to wait until you're ready. So we went to several, and we were both getting irritated. Well, I guess it's not time to.
Guess it ain't happening today.
It ain't happening today.
Because we were trying to squeeze it in on the way to pick up Mickey from school.
What?
So
You
it
hated
was
that
like-
bad that you're trying to squeeze it in before?
So it turns into, oh, there's that one place. Let's pull up. They ain't got. Okay, no. Can y'all come back later? All right. Well, all right. Try another place. Then it becomes like, at this point, we can't get an hour massage anymore. At this point, now we're looking at 30-minute massage, right? And then
you finally found one off of Alabama or Gray, and we went to that one.
Was it
Remember?
was that a 30-minute? Or,
No, we got an hour in because
Okay.
they were able to take us.
Yeah, it was that like Thai. That shit makes me want to go to Thailand.
Yeah,
Because it's like
that
Thai style.
hard,
So they walked
like-
on your back from that too, or no?
This one didn't walk on our
no.
back, but there's a one off of Montrose that does, and they're amazing. But they were booked. That's what we were trying to go to. They're actually pretty good. And I was telling Pete, I was like, I got a little bit of a bigger girl, and I was like, damn, that bitch was walking on my back like she weighed 10 pounds. And I was like, like her pressing on me, I could feel my fibroid as she was pushing on like my back area.
Ouch.
And so I was like, I was trying to go like this, but I couldn't because her weight was so much on my back. I couldn't like, and I just told her, I was like, can you do it lightly? Oh, sorry.
Can you make yourself less
I was like,
big?
well, they're not. It's not full body weight because they're still having to hold themselves
Right.
so that it's not their entire
Can
body
you
weight
do a
on you.
pull-up?
Yeah, and it was crazy because I was like, oh my god, because you're laying down, so she's pressing, and so when she's pressing, it's like it's pressing on the fibroid, then I can actually feel it. And also I was like, how about not?
Yeah.
But it's great. So we it was just to the point where we were both annoyed. Well, I guess. Well, the problem is that we always have so much to do, and if we didn't have so much to do, we probably would be able to get a massage.
I wish I had a regular job
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, and then
'cause,
and then
I guess my boss doesn't give me an hour,
That's exactly what he said to me.
which is us.
Yeah.
We're the
Yeah.
boss.
Right.
It's like, and so it's funny because it starts to turn into that where neither one of us is mad at each other. It's more like we're frustrated at the fact that we take on so much, and then it's kind of like, what
like
were we
shit,
thinking?
Chingo de Mayo, I literally took a week for what I didn't I didn't know whatever little I didn't know I was like hanging on to any kind of like stress or anything, but I really just felt beat up and just like mentally exhausted, I think, or just tired or relieved. I don't know what it
Probably
was.
relieved.
Well, you know what's funny is when we were planning Chingo de Mayo, I went and got another CBD facial. Remember I told you the girl was massaging. She starts kind of at the temples, and she goes, "Are you stressed out?" And I said, "I mean, all the time." I just
Not
this
really,
is kind of what I told her. She goes, "Wow." She's like, "There is this huge knot," and she's like, "You
In
feel
your
this,
temple.
and then your temples." And then she starts to bring it out, kind of like massaging it out, and it almost felt like something went, like and it's just
Damn.
like, oh.
Well, stress is bad.
I was like, that feels better, So that's crazy because
That's why I want this LA trip to be like, smell the roses, enjoy the moment, don't take on too much. Because Mighty's so quick to be like, you fly Robin, we flying David in, we doing this, 8 podcasts a day, hit these people. I'm like, what time am I going to have to rehearse, go to class, attend a comedy show, maybe like go over my Spanish material, you know what I mean? Like
Oh, you
doing
doing
that
that
show
too,
for
yeah.
Big Boy.
Uh-huh.
Is the casino show going through?
it looks like it is.
And
yes.
some of this stuff is pending. So on top of Irvine, San Diego, Oxnard, Hollywood, Ontario, acting classes, so on and so
And
forth.
you've now added Long Beach.
We added which one's that one? Oh, is that the Big Boy? Big Boy presents like Funny Motherfuckers or something like that. Big Boy in the Neighborhood. So I think that might go through. And then there's like a casino show like the night before we leave somewhere.
No. So the night we were supposed to leave, they've asked if we can stay another day, and they're willing to accommodate.
Dope.
So we're going to stay another.
So my little family,
So,
gonna
yeah.
have to stay another day. But anyway, my point is, just wisdom and experience has taught me, like, if you want to do certain shit right, kind of focus a little bit and make sure you do it right before you just like, because again, I want this LA trip to be an experience. Like I'm gonna knock out vlogs, like shit like that. I'm not one of these people that's going out there to make it and do auditions and stand in line. No. I got a channel. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not standing in nobody's line.
Yeah.
Like, we can meet up and see what we could do, but the game has changed. So the podcast is rolling. Like, we getting the YouTube shit back popping, the online merge, tours popping. Like, I want us to enjoy it. Like, we should be able to relax a little bit and enjoy it and not be like we're not literally immigrants. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, llame pa Home Depot. Gracias a Dios, that's not
that situation. Yeah.
So,
speaking of balance earlier, I was going to bring this up at the beginning because we just, put up some material of you, which is the first bit of material that people can see. If they type in Chingo Bling stand-up, which is a regularly, like, looked-up term, there's nothing there unless it's something else from that bit, from that special, which isn't you. It's someone else. So my question was going to be balancing being the creator and then going in there as, like, someone else just reading the comments and getting the feedback and how you balance all that.
All right, so he's talking about some clips from They Can't Deport Us All, which was filmed in 2017 and streaming now on Netflix. But we want to spread out a little bit and let people see it in other spaces like social media and all that. So to answer your question in terms of like having thick skin or whatever, you got to remember how I jumped in the game. I jumped in the game as like people that knew me when I was in college. It's kind of like, you go to college, man. Like, that's a good university. Like, why are you at the flea market slanging mixtapes? Like, bitch, I'm a marketing major, and this is what the fuck I want to do. I love music. I love hustling. I love business, and I'm trying to apply the shit they're teaching me. So from the beginning, even, like, with my look, like, okay, I have my first actual show. Like, they're going to give me 10 minutes somewhere in the beginning of this, like, a long lineup of openers, and I'm going to Goodwill. I found some boots. I got a hat at Walmart, a cowboy hat from Walmart, the boots from fucking Goodwill. And I, like, went to, the other shit I had on was, they had stores kind of like Ross and, like, TJ Maxx. There's some other ones that might have had, like, more hip-hop, like, Overstock from, like, Outkast had a clothing label.
Yeah.
Or like...
City Trends?
Something like that, but it was different. It wasn't like that. But it was like Willie Esco. Like, if you go back and look at the DVD Bash put me on, What's Really, shit, even he was rocking some of that shit, like a Willie Esco shirt. Like, we're in Vegas, and Willie Esco, he was like some designer from New York or something, but it was just like some discounted shit. So my point is this. The way I approached the game, it was so against the grain. It was so like, okay, is this some Weird Al shit? Is this like some Humpty Hump? Like, how long is this even going to last? Is this a joke? Surely this can only last a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I had to have thick skin, especially when the world we live in, people are able to leave comments. But most people were digging it.
Right.
Most people were like, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, we all have the same silly sense of humor. Everybody else is mean mugging, and you're fucking smiling, and you're talking shit, and you got your grill. So I feel like the thick skin I've had for a long time. And then when I had to make the transition of, I feel like the cowboy hat, I feel like, man, it's just like way overdone. I'm just in this box. This is the only thing they see. There's so much more. I have to slowly start to pry away and, like Houdini, like find a way to maneuver, like some jiu-jitsu shit. Like, how am I going to allow folks to transition with me from a branding standpoint, from an evolution standpoint, from a human standpoint? to like, oh, I didn't know you like that, or I didn't know, you weren't saying stupid shit all the time, or wait, where are the boots? I mean, even to this day, it's like, where are the boots? Like, bitch, where are yours? Well, my feet hurt too, motherfucker. Shit, So I feel like I do a decent job of trying to tune out, because when somebody leaves a bullshit comment, sometimes I'm like, hey, that might be customer feedback. You might want, like today, I replied to the YouTube clip. Somebody was like, why does he sound like George Lopez? And it's kind of like, well, to me, I don't.
He does?
Well, to me, look, when I watch the clip, it's like, to me, it's like, no, I try not to, because that's him. However, I was inexperienced. It was a couple years ago. You're nervous, and as a comic that's only been doing it a year and a half, a comedian that's only been doing it a year and a half, to piece and throw that together, you're gonna have little crutches and little habits of like nombre way, and it's like, oh wait, was that George Lopez? No, he never said nombre way, but I kind of see what you're talking about. So my comment was, in my mind, I'm like, yes, I agree to an extent, but it's more like, hey man, it's all new material right now. We're touring. Come to a show near you. Basically, come check it out live and then tell me, because I know my current shit is not.
Well, I don't ever think. I mean, I love George Lopez, so I'm not gonna like, but I don't think George Lopez and you are even on the same thing.
Yeah, we're different.
It's totally different, and I'm not just saying that because I'm married to you.
One of them your baby daddy.
Yeah, but going back to that, it's like I think George Lopez's Hispanic jokes were a little bit different because I think he grew up different, and your Spanish.
Well, I'm from Texas. He's from Cali.
Yeah, so I think
he's older.
Yeah,
I got tattoos. He don't.
Yeah,
I got a couple.
Just different.
Different era,
you're
different
more
generation.
Hip-hop. He's not.
Yeah,
he's
I have
not,
a little bit more hip hop.
Yeah, so it's different.
It's an honor to even be in the same sentence.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like I mean, he's obviously one of the first Hispanics to kind of push
opened up
doors,
yeah,
for everyone else. So
I ain't mad at him.
Trust me, when I read comments, when people leave little smart,
Snarky,
I always have to like take a deep breath in and just be like, you get up there.
Right? What did you create?
You get the fuck up there and you try to make people laugh. I want you to do it, and then go ahead and come back and see what kind of comment you're going to make.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have zero idea what it takes, and I'm not a comic, but I live with one. You know what I'm saying? And I hang out with, I hang out with these guys.
She's like, I know a couple.
And I tour with them. You know what I'm saying? So I know what it takes. They're all sitting there like, they all give each other feedback. Dude, you should do this. Or what if you said it like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I've been working on this new material. No one knows that all day long their brain is constantly working. You know what I'm saying?
Write that shit down.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, so no one understands that unless you know a comic, you're an aspiring comic, you have friends who are comics, you're married to a comic, so you don't really understand that or know that unless, you've been there. So for people to be so quick to make comments or judge or whatever, it's kind of like.
Sounds like a PTA. Like, she's like, y'all stop picking on Mijo.
That's usually how I feel.
Mijo works hard.
Hey, I always tell him that.
He's new. Leave him alone.
I always feel like whenever for business
He's
stuff,
little.
I don't ever let him get in the involved until it really needs to be, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I bet they're like, fuck, we hate his fucking wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure that they're like, a lot of them have said that because I'll sit there and, okay, I'm not trying to say I'm always right, but most of the time I'm on my shit. You know what I'm saying? So when you make a mistake, it's because I really feel like you made a mistake. And if I was wrong, I'll be quick to apologize and say, you know what, you're so absolutely right, my bad. But when it comes to him and when it comes to taking care of the business, I am 100%, I don't try to miss anything,
Don't play.
So, yeah, I don't play. And then when you're playing with
when the clubs are like,
paper.
hey, we heard of you. Like, hey, we heard you were on top of it. Or, such and such say you were feisty.
Yeah,
or some
one
shit.
guy.
She's
said,
on it.
Yeah, so one of the guys that called me to try to book him, he was like,
they gave me a heads up.
They told me you were going to be tough, and he was like, wow. I don't really deal with females most of the time. I'm like, okay, well, cool.
And Chingo don't work for peanuts.
Yeah.
So what you talking about?
Yeah, basically.
Because we finna age. Ain't rapping shit to the paper in my hand.
And I just go, mm-hmm.
It's like he doesn't rap.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's usually males we work with. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what's
what
up.
you ain't here. So what now?
That's what's up.
Moving right along.
Exactly. So yeah. So for me, like sometimes when I see those comments, even on
They're
Instagram,
like Pitbull in a skirt.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
right? Basically.
Even Sean, the trainer, he's like, I'm gonna keep the same weight on the bar that he had, just because I'm not gonna baby you, and I know you were something like that.
Well, because when
Pitbull
he
in
and
a
I
skirt,
yeah,
and you don't want to.
When he and I would work out together, I really try to do like I'm. That's just kind of how I am. I'd be like, don't help me. If I really need the help, I'm going to say, hey, spot me. You know what I'm saying? I said, just keep your fingers there.
Like, don't baby me.
Don't baby me. Yeah, just because I'm a girl. Don't treat me different just because I'm a girl. Trust me, girls are a lot better than most males. I'm not trying to like knock males, but we're just, our way of thinking is so much more logistic, and you know, it's just like
graceful.
Yeah,
dude,
it's
even from like a branding standpoint, you can tell if like Group A had I don't want to use the word like a female touch, like attention to detail, not to generalize, versus let's just say how I'd have done it on my own. It'd have been like, yeah, it wouldn't have looked like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that makes
and I'm
sense.
not saying
100%.
like, I mean, I am saying girls rule, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying like, you know, I just don't like to be treated like, oh, she's a girl. And I let and then yeah, right.
Who runs the world?
Right here. So I don't like to be treated that way, and that's why I'll check you real quick whenever, you know, you try to treat me like
F you in the P.
Real quick. So I will check you.
And I do not cuss. So I'm going to hit you with the letters.
Yeah, exactly.
Sign language it.
And that's why whenever I'm upset about something, I first will be like, he's a little bit more like, okay, well, can you look at it from this point of view? I'm going to be like, well, no, it doesn't make sense to look at it from that point of view, because if you look at it from this point of view, look at this. What? No, you trying to pay me? What? How much? Nah, bro, don't email me. Delete. Next. You want to book who?
Thank you, next.
No, thank you, next. Who else you want to book? Not Chingo. Not Chingo for that. Sorry.
Don't work for peanuts.
Shit.
Bye.
Especially on... Don't let it be September 16th. You trying to book Chingo.
You know what I'm saying?
40, huh?
Don't let it be Dia de los Muertos and you trying to book Chingo. No, September 16th. That ain't my birthday.
When's your birthday?
Mexican Independence Day.
I know it has it on.
No, mine is August 23rd.
Oh.
Your
I'm a Virgo.
Wikipedia still has it.
Hey, that's a whole nother Wikipedia is a whole nother assignment after we get through this other to-do list.
This
That's
whole whiteboard.
like literally Wikipedia has to be like, what I don't like about it is that the stuff on there is so dated. It's like, so when I go to a radio interview, so we heard your taco truck got shot up, and it's like, why is it? I already know what you did. You went to Wikipedia, and it's my fault. It's not your fault for going to do some quick research. It's my fault for not going on there and cleaning that shit up.
Yeah.
You know, and people be like, no, it ain't. Your birthday's in September. I'm like, bitch, I'm telling you, my birthday's. Well, Wikipedia, bitch, Wikipedia is not God.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know what's on my birth certificate.
I know when the fuck I was born, unless you know some shit I don't.
What are some things that you feel help you be creative?
Was that your question?
No.
Because he said it's gonna be like the creativity episode.
I did say that.
Honestly, man,
Segue into that because we're going off topic.
Good segue.
Thanks.
Honestly, I feel like I need to step it up in the creativity game. That's, in terms of my goals of like being a better writer, taking more chances in my performances, and just as an artist, I feel like I'm doing 80% admin.
Oh, dude, I was just about to say, the good thing about you being out of town is there's going to be almost no admin, right? Because you're not going to be here.
Knowing us, it's going to be some admin. And you can't get away from all admin. Yeah. And at some extent, it's unavoidable and it's necessary and it's good, because I don't give a damn if you Mark Wahlberg and you don't know what's going on with this burger joint that your family has going, and it's like, wait a minute, this Wahlburger burgers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't want to have to sit and look at these expense sheets for Wahlburger burgers, but it's like, what kind of buns are we using?
Is that really a thing?
Yeah, Wahlburgers.
It's Wahlberg.
Wahlburg.
Or
I didn't know
like
they
that.
have a burger
Yeah,
place.
And
We went to one in Atlanta, man. That shit was trash.
What?
If you gonna get in the burger game, bro, you gotta
I think
come with
the
it.
brother is a chef.
He talking about he a chef, but I think Mark threw him a bone. Like, all right, big bro, let me fuck it. Because they're probably like, hey, your brother wants to do the burgers and you're the only one. Plus, hey, you're just a Transformers.
Well, Donnie is also. I mean, he's not as
Donnie's
popular
acting. He's doing his thing. But both of them, hey, man, come on, man. We're trying to do this burger. It's Wahlburgers. Can y'all? So it's probably like, all right, I'll sign off. I'll be in a couple episodes of the reality show. Give me one of the I don't know how they do the franchises.
I had no idea.
My point is this is what I'm trying to say, is that to a certain extent, who knows, I might be doing it right, which is like when you look at a lot of up and coming comics, it's like, hey man, I bitch. I literally did when I did bitch and complain when I did the spot at the Secret Group the other day. I ran into a comedian friend named Josh, and I was like, he's like, man, I just got off work. I'm like, me too. He's like, where you work at? I'm like, well, this, but it just feels like so much planning. Everything requires.
Well, just today when we were at Subway, what did the guy say? He's like, what? Y'all aren't.
Oh, surprised y'all aren't poolside.
Yeah,
we're like,
we got to work.
Bitch,
he's like, I'm not. He's like, I'm not because I got to work. We're like, well, us too. We got the same problem.
He was a BMW salesman. He had on his shirt. He's like,
we're like, we're in the same boat, brother. Like, you think we're
these
here?
tamales gonna sell themselves?
It was funny because he was like, we're like, well, we got to work too. I was like, that's what. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So lately it has, but shit's coming out good though. So I'm informed. I'm involved. We're there's just certain steps. You got to track your inventory. You got to logistic. What's the customer experience when they arrive? What do they see? What happens? These are the details. You got to oversee. Is the look of the tour up to par? Have you looked at how we're gonna roll this out? So I bitch about it, but it's necessary. So in terms of peeping, what's the word? Staying up on creativity. That's just like that's like a everyday. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
That post you sent me about Bill Gates was pretty interesting. Where he goes away for a week.
Who?
Bill Gates.
Oh, Bill Gates. Yeah, Thinking Week.
Yeah, Think Week. Yeah.
Yeah, Think Week. Well, this should be a Think Month.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. For me, this is exact. I think I've said this on the podcast before. Excuse me, sorry guys. Is I'm taking this entire month to be inspired, get creative, research. And since probably Mickey will be like at a camp during the day, I'm probably going to go around, explore with Penny, and just.
And she'll be vlogging this.
Yeah, I'll be vlogging it, and just kind of like. I would like to meet other people, like other fans. Seriously, I really want to do a meetup. Just nothing like. Elaborate. Like,
shit, meet us at the show.
Yeah, like meet us at the shows for sure. And like, let's meet at the park and go walk. And because talking to other people, sometimes you're like, word, okay. Mm-hmm. Really, that's what you do, huh? And it's just like, there's so many other creative people out there. Like, there's so many more markets too. Like, as far as like these like where they set up on the weekends and they have like little markets and trinkets and they sell stuff. A lot of the people that I follow are from California, but they make like cool little like Frida stuff. They make like shirts, and they have like a flea market almost type thing. But it's, what do they call them out there? I get it, swap meets, but not really. It's like actually arts and crafts, like, that they are making and manufacturing or whatever, So I'd like to go check those out just to see, like, stuff like that inspires you. Art, you just being out there and walking, like hiking, it just kind of gets those juices going, so. Yeah,
another thing that we try to do from time to time when we can is like, you have to be entertained in order to know how to entertain.
Yeah.
So you got to know the difference between a wax show where motherfuckers are bored and like we had a ball, or like an event, like a festival or anything, a concert. Like, I was thinking about that the other day. We went to see Drake and Migos, and really, we went to have fun. We were like peeping game. Like, oh, what's the arc of the show? Is there a finale? How'd they open it? How'd they set it off? How'd they transition?
We wouldn't know what the finale is because we left.
We left.
Yeah, that's right. We all switched seats and shit. That was a long time ago.
Because I'm like, man, this shit is loud.
Yeah,
like, but you know what I mean.
Crowded here. I got to go.
Was that for your birthday last year?
It was for my birthday.
Oh, that's right.
I bought it for us.
I bought it for us.
But that's a part of like creativity, and I think I've said it before. Like, when I'm in a like a studio setting, like writing lyrics, I did that for so many. I'm a little rusty, but I did that for so many years that I never allowed myself to get rusty in that. So it got to the point to where in the beginning, you're very precious about it, and you're overthinking it, and it's hard to be creative because you're just so focused on the outcome, if that makes sense. Like, is a radio DJ going to like this?
Right.
Is this a hit, quote unquote? So on and so forth. Versus, am I relaxed? Am I confident? Am I ready to go in the booth in terms of, do I have my attitude down? You know, how energetic was that take? Just kind of like being relaxing in the moment from a creative standpoint, you know. And improvisation too, like, especially when it comes to like rap lyrics, it's like sometimes you gotta like mumble some shit just to kind of like get the flow or the melody.
I think that's exactly how Migos does it, because all they do is mumble.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you feel
They still jam. They jam.
They got bangers. They got
Beats,
good music. Yeah.
Yeah.
The lyrics, whatever.
Yeah, no, they do their thing. They got the attitude down and everything. The
Quavo and
persona.
Offset would totally be my friends. 2 Chainz, we would be best friends.
That's her spirit animal.
That's
Really?
my spirit guy.
That's funny.
I love him. I love how flamboyant he is.
Like over the top.
Over the top. I just love that. I love people that... I've said this so many times. Trust me, that's what I used to love about him. Like, when he was coming out, it's just that he was so fucking out there. I love people who just have their own style and they do their own thing. You're not
Take
trying
risks.
To, you're not trying to copy of anybody. You're like, oh, look at him trying to wear the same shirt, so-and-so. You could... I'm sorry, you can never say that about Chingo during his time of music career. Who can you say, look at him trying to look like so-and-so?
Right.
No one. If anything,
but now
not to like, you know.
Toot my baby's horn.
Yeah, exactly.
Toot it, baby.
I mean, now you see people trying to copy the
For
style
sure.
that he was rocking 20 years ago, you
It
know?
wasn't that long, baby.
I mean,
Creeping
you're up
up on
there.
20.
Yeah, you're like,
Well,
what,
not yet.
16, 17?
It's up there, like
Yeah.
17.
So, you know? So,
Probably 18.
Damn.
I thought it was, we've been
Well,
together.
I started in
Babe,
01.
Listen.
So the last
19,
five,
19.
the last 5 have been comedy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's half a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Let that sink
Let that
in.
sink in. Yeah.
Wait till I
Yeah,
hit
so
that
that's why
decade.
I love 2 Chainz, because that's he's just like, don't give a fuck.
Oh man, his early mixtapes where he started transitioning from Titty Boy, from being in Ludacris's shadow and being tied into that contract to stepping out on his own and reinventing and creating 2 Chainz. Those mixtapes were fire.
Yeah.
Like there's one called a True. I think it's like the Real University or something like that. The cover's like him taking a leak like at a urinal. You just see like his back. That fucking mixtape is fire. Like A-Town, we got one. And I'ma start a riot. Well, yeah. Talk about bangers, Rob, on the way,
All right.
home.
On the way home, I'm gonna pull it up.
There you
Send
go.
you the link.
What do you do to stay inspired or creative, Rob?
Luckily, it's like when we talk about mental health with friends or with whoever, I'm lucky that I don't have that lack of dopamine drip where I ever get depressed or get sad or whatever. It rarely happens, right? Like I'm always just upbeat. When I'm smiling, I'm genuinely smiling, optimistic to my own, failure sometime or whatever. And then when it comes to creativity, same thing. Like I am just so optimistic about what I'm trying to do that I'm constantly learning about the thing. If I want to learn a specific thing about business or creativity or editing or whatever, it's like, okay, we're just going balls deep until we learn it. And I just never waver from it. That's it. It sounds kind of like pretentious, but I don't have a problem like finding out about what I want to be creative about. Except guitar. I still haven't mastered it, so.
You definitely sound like a Libra. Is your birthday? No, just kidding.
Yeah, me and Sol got
what
a lot
is
of
your
things in
sign?
common. Libra, yeah.
Oh.
That's why she always mentions it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, lucky y'all with the dopamine drip.
Yeah, right.
Some of us got to stay on top of our dope. Like the way I look at
Well, that's because they say Libras are balanced. You can see in someone's flaws. You can actually like, oh, okay, well, you're flawed that way, but that's all right. There's, X, Y,
You make
Z
up
is
for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
X, Y, Z is better, But have you tried to fix that problem? We're problem solvers, or so they say we are. I think I am a problem solver. Problem solvers. We like, we really find like the good in everybody. We try not to like be so judgmental immediately just because something bad you did or you heard something. I like to usually find out for myself if I heard something about you.
Yeah.
So that whatever alert was given to me, I'll keep that in the in sign language. You go like this, so I keep that kind of in the back of my head, and then I just like do my own judgment. But I've already been alerted about you, so I'll kind of like be assessing you.
Yeah.
Usually when I meet someone, I'm already assessing you.
Yeah, like I've for as long as I can remember, I've said I give everyone the benefit of the doubt until they give me a reason not to.
Exactly. That's my
and then
exactly.
you take it from there.
Yeah.
Yep.
The way I look at since we're talking about like mental health, dopamine, and flaws and all that, I'm at the point in my life where the way I'm approaching everything about me and my character and my flaws is like I want to keep it like a fucking pristine garden. Everything from just like the energy, the outlook, the like for like let's say if I just start slacking and I fall off the menu, or I fall off doing this hit type of cardio with homeboy, or we fall off the podcast, or I don't follow through on YouTube, whatever it may be. Those are weeds in my garden, and those are just examples, but it could be anything like just being inconsistent. Maybe like I want to be a better dad, I want to be a better husband. That's part of a nice, beautiful little inner garden. Like just how's my outlook, how's my peace, am I nice to people, am I just being very kind, mindful of everything about me. And that's what I'm trying to do, is like just have like that. This the only little garden I have to worry about, but I want this to be like, this is my life's mission. Like this, my little A1 garden. Like, man, how you such a good husband? How you such a good dad? How you so good at that? Because man, it's all in my garden. If I slack in being a good husband or trying to be a better dad, that's a fucking weed. Because you see these vines we got growing on this fence? These vines we got growing on this fence.
Which we've cut several times.
Because they're vines. That's what weeds do.
Yeah.
Man.
That's what weeds do. That's like, it's almost like what I was joking about the ego at our workout earlier. Like when I was huffing and puffing out of breath and I was mad at myself because I couldn't do the one-arm burpee, and some of this stuff was so challenging. My core, I need help. My cardio ain't up to where I want it to be. And I was literally, as I'm gasping for oxygen, I don't know if the lack of whatever, the intensity had my brain going this way, but I was thinking like, I literally pictured like my little gut crying and dying because I was killing it. I was literally killing it, and my gut is like the ego. Like we hang on to things. Like there's stuff we've been trying to correct. I think anybody's listening can maybe relate. It doesn't have to be your stomach fat. It could be anything. But like, this thing that I've been trying to improve, this thing that I've been trying to accomplish, or you're trying to have progress, and any little excuse that keeps it around, any little lack of discipline that allows it to still be alive and you haven't fully killed that part of you, it's literally my fat on my stomach was looking at the trainer like, hey man, he's trying to separate us. Like, you kind of need me. Like almost like the BMW salesman at Subway.
Yeah.
In my head, I was thinking like he might be like, my gut, because he had a big belly. He's like, my big belly probably helps me sell more cars. It makes me relatable and likable, and I've always had it. It might be a subconscious thing, but that's what I was thinking. That my this part of me that I'm trying to work on is just kind of like, hey man, this is comfort. Like, you know me, dog. We go way back. Like, why are we doing this? You're good. You're a comedian. You're a stand-up comedian. You're not a fucking model. You're not a fucking athlete. You should be able to go up there and be relatable. And, hey, lots of people, got a little body fat on them. What you trying to do, bro? You Hollywood? We real. We from the hood, dog. What is you doing? And that's the animation voiceover of my stomach.
I wish we could like just snap our fingers and have that animation of you telling that story, and then like an animated like
That'd be
you.
hilarious.
Well, we need to find an animator.
I know.
So if you're an animator and you'd like to do some shit,
If you want
for
to
us,
animate that story,
Yeah.
hit us
hit
up.
us up.
Shoot us. Yep. What did he said?
Yeah. But that's how I look at it, man. Those are weeds. Like let's say if I start reaching, some stuff is hard to sustain, right? You don't want to be 6% body fat for like all the fucking time. But let's just say, oh, you were at 20 for a while, you did good, you were happy. Now, what happened, bro? You at 30 again. What's going on? That will be like your fucking weeds grew back, and you weren't on top of your shit, your goals in terms of what helped you get there.
Yeah, I have a list. I haven't seen it in a couple, probably 2 or 3 years, but there's this piece of paper that when I was in my early 20s, probably like 21 or so, I remember writing down, and you know how like we're in school, you'd write like the big goal in the middle, and then make a spider graph of all the different things. I remember writing it down and wrote in it until there was no more white space on it. And like every year or so, I'd go back to my parents, and it's in the same place in my old room, and I would scratch stuff off, and I'd scratch stuff off.
That's kind of dope.
So I haven't done that since I think my birthday last year. So I'm gonna go back and find it and just see how much more stuff I'm gonna scratch off of it.
Like goals and stuff?
Yeah. And one of them.
Do you mind sharing? Like what kind of stuff?
Well, when I'd stopped school, I had student loan debt. So it was like, get rid of student loan debt right off the bat.
College stuff.
College stuff, business stuff, which I've done a few businesses since I was 21. Work with somebody who I found influential, which ironically I'm doing now, and I've gotten to do a few other times in the past for short projects. And it's just stuff like that. Learn the guitar, party backstage with a musician that I enjoyed. All that, those even small goals like that. I was like, I want to do those things. And it's,
how do you go about tackling that one? Like, find John Mayer's tour bus, hang out.
Well, funny enough,
I'm reaching my goals.
Yeah, right.
Security, bitch. This is my goal.
I'm gonna hit up Mo and be like, Mo, John Mayer's coming
Yeah,
in town. Yeah. No, but I got to do that on a smaller scale, and a lot of it in the early days of Twitter is where it came from. Was just interacting with personalities on Twitter, shooting funny tweets, tagging them in cool things that they would then retweet, and then you would start this weird relationship that I feel like happens now on Instagram more than anything.
Well, I found you on Instagram.
Yeah, which there you go. So
I was finna hit you up, see if you wanted to be a sponsor for the promote the cryotherapy business on the podcast.
Dude,
that I was trying to kind of do on my own.
Yeah.
Saw how that went.
Crazy how the world works, but it's stuff like that. And people would always ask, "Well, how you doing this? How you doing that?" I'm like, I don't know, man. Figure it out.
Bitch, I'm on the grind.
Yeah, right. I just say figure it out. Like I'm figuring it out to the best of my ability.
Well, I feel like you're a good example of somebody who's taking advantage of the current world we live in, where there is information.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like from researching to figuring it out.
Yeah.
Whether it's guitar or how to meet John Mayer backstage.
Yeah. Which, trust me, I'm trying to do. No, but even when it comes to people, like everyone nowadays, it's cool to be an entrepreneur. Like it is the cool thing to do. And if you follow entrepreneurs, they say it all the time, and it's kind of cliche, but it's true because before like Shark Tank really blew up, you never really heard people about trying to like create the next big thing or invent something or start a business. So when I was 23 and I was like, I have an idea for this business, first thing I did, how do I put together a business plan?
How do I pitch this to Shark Tank?
Yeah, right. Which somebody on Shark Tank did pitch something like that. But I went to Google. I was like, how do you put together a forecast for your projections, or how do you put together this whatever? And then you just plug and
articles,
play all that stuff.
How do you negotiate a comedy contract?
Exactly.
Dude, I remember the first time I heard of Google, and to me it wasn't that long ago because I was in college. That lets you know how long ago college was for me. But it was probably
because it was Ask Jeeves before that.
It was Ask Jeeves. I barely remember that.
Let's see. I started college. I did like 98, 99.
And Ask Jeeves didn't have all the answers, but they had most.
Wasn't it the guy that looked like the Catherine from the...
No, he looked like he was a little fat man.
Oh, really?
I
don't remember that. Never mind.
He was bald.
See, his belly made him trustworthy. So I did college from 98 to 01, right? And I can't remember which year it was, but one of my DJing partners, his name was Sean, and his older brother had graduated from like UT Austin, and anyway, we were trying to look something up, and he's like, "Oh, I'll pull up Google," and I was like, "What the fuck is a Google? What a Google? How do you spell that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a search engine." I'm like, "You mean like Yahoo?" He's like, "No, it's better." And my brother told me about it, and ever since then, I'm like, oh, there's this thing called Google.
Oh, that's
like there
funny.
was no YouTube. Mm-hmm. I remember being in the music game, pressing up records, like vinyl, wax, that you had to mail to DJs. There was no. I remember when Gmail first came out, and someone had to give you a Gmail like +1, like a pass. Like somebody had to pass it on. That's the only way you could have a Gmail back then. It might have been like a beta test or whatever. But yeah, then YouTube comes along, and I saw that as an opportunity. It wasn't a such thing as artists doing, what's the word, like vlogs, behind the scenes. That wasn't even, a thing. What artists were focusing on in terms of videos was like, if I produce this video, will MTV play it? Will MTV2 play it? Like, who's going to play it? There was no YouTube.
Yeah, am I going to be on TRL?
And we would spend money on a video, like when we shot that like this and like that video, it might not look expensive, but it was shot on film, which is like a dying
that's cool.
film. That's like a dying thing. Like everyone does digital.
Mhm.
So I literally saw the transition of like, oh fuck, why are you shipping out wax when you can email an MP3?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, sorry man, they didn't have it last time I checked.
What's funny about what you just said too, I was thinking about this earlier. I was reading an article about just, you know, the more technology's taking over certain job sectors or whatever, and a lot of people are going to school and they're learning analog things in a digital world. You know, they're just not going to school for things that are going to be so...
You're saying that's the trend in school?
Yeah, like people that just either they don't really know what they want to do, so they're going to school for whatever. Is they're just getting a degree that's...
It's not poli-sci anymore, babe. That was like the degree you got when you were unsure.
Exactly.
I almost majored in poli-sci because I was like, well, maybe I'll do law. I was like, well, what do law people major in?
Yeah.
And they're like, a lot of them do poli-sci. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what the fuck with political science.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about politics. But anyway, go on.
No, that's a class that made me drop out, actually, poli-sci. Fuck you, man. But, no, the point is, people are going to school so unfocused and kind of like undriven on a specific thing that they'll get any degree that gets them the degree, right? But in a world where so many things are going digital, a lot of those degrees have nothing to do with
Yeah,
the
they're
internet
teaching you an archaic way.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much. And that's what you're going to know when you get out of school, and then you're 80 grand in debt and don't have any kind of real skill set. And then you get a job, and then like 3 years later, a robot took it over, you know, and you don't know anything.
You still got that debt.
So you know what's funny? My cousin just graduated college.
From Trinity University?
Same Trinity as.
Alumni?
Great
Yeah.
school.
Go Tigers.
And she's very lucky because she graduated with no debt.
Oh,
Her
wow.
parents made an effort that whenever she graduated college, that she graduate with zero debt. But she wants to go to grad school, and she realized how much it's going to cost and the debt she would be in. So she's like, I think I might just go get a job. So I don't know if she's 100% sure. She says she'll think about going next year. She might consider it, but I guess whatever she's applying for is only giving her like $8,000 towards grad school per semester. She's like, which would cover like books, and that would be it. She's like, so yeah, I don't know that I want to be in debt, being that I've graduated college with no debt, which very few people can say that.
Speaking of books, sometimes I see my fifth graders backpack. I'm like, God dang, that thing is full, and I'm thinking to myself like, part of me is like, okay, why haven't y'all transferred to iPad or whatever?
But a lot of school districts have.
They're doing it, yeah.
They're doing it already because this girl I used to train, her son, she's like, fuck, he forgot his phone at home, and that's where he has his textbooks. And I said, what? She said, yeah, that's where he has his textbooks. She's like, I got to go, you know. She's like, can we meet up again later? And I was like,
his backpack is a phone case.
And so basically, she had to go all the way home, get his phone, because he couldn't do anything.
It's like that's the
What
only
do
thing
do?
you had to take to school, and you forgot it.
So you can either bring an iPad. She said you can bring an iPad, a laptop, or your phone, because now you know phones do pretty much everything the iPad does. So she said those are the three options you can bring, and they, you know, all your textbooks are on there. So you check them out. You still pay a fee, like. To check them out. You know how in school they were free, but here it's like a fee just to check them out. It's like minimal. It's not like nothing. I think it's more honestly to keep that whatever their system they're using to keep it running. It might be just you're paying a fee for that. But anyway, so all his textbooks were on there. Work, you know, what back then it was called the blackboard when you turn in.
Oh yeah, that's what I used.
Yeah, that's what I used whenever I was in school. And so they turn in their homework. Their homework is teachers upload it to the blackboard. They reply on Blackboard. Final exams were the only thing that they still allowed to do on Scantrons, and I guess it's maybe to avoid them cheating with each other. I really don't know, but it was. I was like, what? I was trippy. I was like, I couldn't believe it because now I see Mickey. I'm like, they don't have books.
Well, here's my theory. That's what I was trying to get to. Did y'all hear the controversy of the Texas textbooks? I think it was like middle school. It's basically this is how it works.
The ripoff?
So that no, yes and no, but in a dangerous way.
Okay.
A lot of misinformation in there. So this is what happens. As Marisol reads her text.
It's my mom. Can
Okay.
you give me the phone real quick so I can tell?
All right, so this is how it works, right? I guess the district has funding, right? The district is putting out is accepting bids on textbooks so that they can get a contract and give people some of this funding, right? So there was this lady who I believe was on some like board of the district, or she just was privy to the due date and the requirements. So she you could Google this shit. She turned around, hired a couple writers, and said, we're going to fucking throw together this history book. We're going to slam this bitch together. Y'all have a fucking deadline. You write a chapter, I write a chapter, y'all write a chapter. Boom. They were, I think, the only ones to submit it, like, according to, because they were privy to information.
Wow.
They turned it in. Hold on, it gets better. They're the ones that made the deadline. So now you got a contract with the district for X amount of textbooks, hence why my baby has to carry these books and she ain't transferred over to iPad. The bad thing is there was some ignorant ass shit because they were having to rush through it. So it was like, they were like literally quotes, like a lot of Hispanic people were in an uproar because it was like, in the early 19 whatever, like I'm paraphrasing, but it's like Mexicans drank a lot, didn't work much, and had to be encouraged a lot by their by their bosses. Google it.
Are you
Google
kidding
it.
me
Lazy
right now?
Mexican. So they didn't say lazy Mexican, but it was like they took many breaks, and their bosses were having to really like encourage them to pick up like shit like that. And it was a whole bunch of stuff in there like that.
In their history book?
Yes. Wow. I mean, again, I'm paraphrasing,
Sure.
but if we Jamie, pull it up.
Yeah, right.
But if you like Google like Texas textbook controversy, it should pull up. And it was like a lady. But yeah, anytime you got like government contracts, bids, and people who kind of don't give a fuck,
yeah,
you get a little recipe for, you know, my kid goes to public school, but you get this little public school education of like, hold that thought, especially when it comes to like certain
Christopher Columbus, just kidding.
Well,
Right,
yeah, stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
That falls into the
That's a
category.
great,
that
example.
falls into the fucking category of like, I don't give a damn, slavery, Civil War, where little things get tweaked, and it's not like the white man's trying to erase history and the white man trying to. It ain't necessarily in a malicious intent. It might be a little bit of ignorance. It might be carelessness. It might be a system that's broken that involves bids and contracts and money and profit. And if you could hurry up and crank this book, and if you tell me if I got the gig, then I'm going to hurry up and press them. And then these kids got to be tested on it. And bullshit sliced through the cracks. Like Civil War stuff. Christopher Columbus, why don't they present it? And I'm not liberal, leftist, extremist, or nothing like that. I'm not one of them people. But call it what it was, man. The boy was lost.
Yeah.
He didn't know where he was at. And if you listen to Sapiens, it breaks down, like, for instance, how different civilizations exchanged spices and they traded, and you know there's evidence of Muslims who took the long voyage and they were in the Americas, and like people had seen white people, like there was a ton of that. But once it became we went from polytheism to a monotheistic type of vibe, and you add the when you add this, there's a king in Spain. Ready? That's number one. You got kings now. Two, we're going to have a missionary component to our traveling. So now we're spreading the word, right, on behalf of the king, because he's higher than us and he's closer to the Lord. So now these missionaries are going to all these places. Now they're spreading disease. Now you wiping out half the people in the fucking Amazon. So by the time the rest of the dudes show up with the swords and the guns and the fucking horses, yeah, don't get me started.
And this is why Penny's going to homeschool.
Yeah, right.
And kids
I really
taking
do want to
guns
homeschool her,
school.
though. I think we've talked about this before. Dead serious. I really do want to homeschool her. Yeah. I just think that I could do a better job. No offense to teachers currently.
She was borderline trained to be a teacher.
Yeah, so I did the program in high school because I thought that's what I wanted to do or whatever. So I just feel like, you know, teachers nowadays do so much work for so little, you know, and they're underappreciated, underpaid,
underfunded.
You know,
they be emailing us like, "Hey, man, we need some more glue and supplies." I'm like, "Well, damn,
what's the school doing? You know,
fuck is the district doing? Where's tax money going?"
It sucks because you know, I'm telling you, when I used to get like student of the month And my mom just sent me a picture of one the other day, and it's a certificate that I got for being
Teacher's
student,
pet.
being student of the month, and it says, "What's your favorite thing to do?" It's like first grade and second grade. It said, "Play teachers, play teachers." So like I knew since
AKA
a little,
be the boss.
Yeah,
Right.
she's like, I've been bossy.
since I was like little, I knew that I wanted to be like, I liked being a teacher. I had a chalkboard in my room that my mom and I'd play. We'd pick random words in the dictionary, and then we'd, how you have to write it 3 times. And so I'd make all the kids come in my room, and y'all were gonna write it 3 times, and then you turn it in, and I was gonna grade it with my red pen. You know what I'm saying? So I really wanted to, and so I don't think teachers are looked at that way anymore, where they're like, oh my God, my teacher's the best. Like I can name seriously like teachers of mine that made an impact for me as in elementary school. I don't think I've heard Mickey ever say that about any of her teachers.
Well, she likes some of her teachers, but
okay, which one?
I forget. She forgets. She's like, "Oh, my preschool, like she was so nice." It's always like they're nice, or sometimes they're mean. But listen, we went to her 5th grade graduation, right? Where they call their name. They're like AB honor roll,
Right.
perfect attendance, whatever. The whole time I'm up there thinking like, why y'all not giving these teachers enough supplies? Because they haven't emailed us, which I don't mind. I think that's just like the way things are done. But I just feel like the system is a little fucked up. Number 2, where's the little boy that brought a gun to school? Where's he at? What y'all do to him? Like, in other words, I wanted to turn it into a PTA. Like, so what we doing about the kid? What was he, a 6th grader? Mm-hmm. What are we doing about that? I know it's his graduation, but we ain't had a chance to chop it up about like, where's y'all's metal detector? What's the game? What's the protocol?
Yeah.
Besides fire drill, pretend someone's in here with a gun, get on the ground, hide behind a desk.
Who?
I mean,
did
that's a
those
whole
drills?
nother. We didn't have them kind of drills.
I
going on,
never
'cause
had.
You get your
it
motherfucking ass
amazes
beat.
me that Mickey knows, like, yeah, we know what to do, and she was explaining it to us.
She
I
was
was
just like, well, first you have to turn off the lights, close the door, get behind the teacher, get on the thing.
and then you open the cabinet doors, and they kind of hide behind there. So basically, the cabinet doors, their shield in case someone were to shoot. They're
like sitting ducks.
Is that
And-
not crazy?
That's
So
nuts.
That's got to be terrifying as a child to sit there and practice
Maybe getting shot.
what to do in case you get
all
shot.
because Big Pharma.
That's one. Yeah.
So I would love to research, like, back when we went to school, what are those Big Pharma, like, what drugs weren't available back then? Because I haven't done my research, or these school shooting motherfuckers, but, like, they're probably all on the same cocktail mixture,
Yeah.
and they probably all have side effects, and they probably never talk about that on the news. It's always just either a gun debate, but it's never like, man, what pills was the boy on?
Yeah.
And were they all on the same pills?
Yeah.
And why are the patterns the same? What psychological bullshit is happening?
Getting Chingo all riled up.
Yeah, man, because it's like, I mean, think about it, man. Like, you send your kids to school. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? I have a 5th grader, and then the little one, we have to decide how she's gonna get educated. But it's like, what world are we living in, man? And I read something in the paper about the young man who died saving his classmates, Kendrick Castillo, I believe his last name. I think this was Colorado as well. I believe it was like a young dude and a girl that were the teammates going in trying to do this shit. And this is the controversy that I read about. That when they were having a ceremony at school to like address, like mourn, like we're gonna honor your fellow student. Like the kids are going through some shit, and they were having like these local politician motherfuckers. Like, that's why we need to vote, and the left, and and we need to protect our kid because it's all about gun control and And the kids started walking out. Well, they're like, bro, this ain't the time for your little fucking campaign. Like, our fucking friend died.
Damn.
And can we do that first? Could we go over that part first before you talk about your fucking plan of it?
Agenda.
This is what we're gonna do. Step 1, write your congressman. 2, vote for me. 3. And but this is the greatest country in the world, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's semi-ears, but
I mean,
but
everybody's
we've got-
depressed.
But we've got issues here.
There's they putting fentanyl into work. Nah, people overdosing on shit. And,
When you're sad or if you feel sad, what do you do?
Who, me?
Yeah,
Oh, good
both of you.
question.
What do you do?
Sad.
If you ever feel sad or you're just kind of like, fuck, man, what do you do to like make your uplift yourself?
Okay, well, we talked about it earlier. If I'm feeling like overwhelmed, stressed out, just a little out of it with my dopamine drip, it's going to have to be like, okay, well, have I meditated today? Just to kind of gather my thoughts, and Tamara Levitt be dropping some good game in a Calm app. Today's meditation, she talked about Pura Vida, which
Costa Rica.
It's
Oh,
a
okay.
slogan of Costa Rica, like, ¿Cómo estás? Pura Vida.
Nice.
Hey, thanks for coming.
And
Pura Vida.
seriously, if you're a subscriber of the podcast from a long time ago when Chingo first started, he actually went on a rant by himself after
all about Costa Rica.
when he came back because he felt like, and it was crazy, Rob, because when we were there, it was like, and I say this about Mexico too, not just Costa Rica. It doesn't matter like how much money you have or what material items you have. It's like, oh, my husband, my daughter, my family, we're all here. We got food on the table. Oh, okay, good. Everybody's in good health. Cool.
And even then, it's like most of them are in good health, and we kind of have food, but we're still sweeping the sidewalk in the morning.
And then you're still saying good morning,
and
and you're still walking by, and that's something that I always noticed when I would go to Mexico and stay at my grandma's house. Her
In
front
Reynosa?
in Reynosa, in the front porch. It didn't matter who walked by. Buenos días, doña Juanita. Buenos días. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's like
everybody's humble.
everybody's just
grateful.
great. It's just like,
Not
regardless
trying to
of,
keep up with the Joneses as
Right.
much,
Mhm.
like that whole
and
Western.
I think we kind of like live that way here. Sometimes when I see things like, you know how you're like on social media, you're like, fuck, look at it. Or even what we were talking about earlier,
know.
right?
FOMO.
I'm just like, damn, look at that. And then I like snap. And I'm like, but you know what? You have not one stress in the world.
Yeah.
First of all,
Like-
you married a Chingo. Bling.
I mean, yeah, there you go.
I thought you were going to say you got both arms and legs.
Beautiful
but no.
kids.
And, you kind of think about it. You're like, I'm not stressed about how my bills are going to be paid at the first of the month. That's one. That's, to me, is alone. I think I said this the last time. I feel rich, number one, because I'm able to work from home while my daughter sits in the front of the
I
house.
just saw her pass by.
Yeah,
in the wagon.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luisa just took her. Right
So you know what I'm saying? I love that. That to me, and I said this, a mom who stays home, it's the hardest job in the world, right? But they're the richest people to me, because very few people are able to stay home with their kids and actually watch every step of whatever they're doing or whatever, development thing that's happening. Like, I remember the first time Penny ate food. Do you remember? We were busy doing something, and then we come back and she's like, "Oh, she ate food today." I said, "She
like
did?"
specifically, what do you mean?
Whatever
Say,
it was food. I
like
don't know what it was. I
beans,
forgot what she
egg,
gave her
okay.
that time. I don't know
Well,
what
when
it
she
was.
says food, she means like
solids, like solids.
non.
So this
milk.
is going from her. She goes, "Oh, I think." She goes, I forgot what it was.
like fruit, I think, like something mushed up.
Okay, and then I said, "Oh, but I told you to wait until I got home so that I can watch her." She's like, "Oh, I took a picture for you," and I was like, "No, like I wanted to witness it myself." You know what I'm saying? So there's this thing that I saw the other day on an account that I follow about comparing a stay-at-home mom and then a mom that works. A mom that works is kind of quick to judge a mom that stays at home, and the mom that stays at home is quick to judge the mom that
What's
works.
an important job?
Raising
your kids and managing your house is an important.
Yeah, it's like,
job.
and so,
and it ain't easy.
And then the lady who posted, I think it's called Motherly, the account that I follow, she had posted it on there, and basically she was saying like, "Hey, mom that works, be empathetic to the mom who stays at home, because she rarely speaks to any other adults. It's all about, their kids. Granted, they don't miss everything, but they work 24/7. There's no break for them. You know what I'm saying? You're always there." And then it was like comparing the mom who works, like, "Hey, mom that works, like, don't be so judgmental about moms that stay at home. It's not as luxurious as you think it is. Like, they're not out going and having coffee with their baby or ice cream, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just go right around. Like, both jobs are hard. You know what I'm saying? I kind of am in the middle. I feel like, I get to work from home, but I also get to go check on my daughter. Most moms have to drop if you're a working mom, you've got to drop your daughter or your son or whoever at a daycare, and then you're just hoping that, you know, everything is fine that day at work, or, you know, everything is fine at daycare, that she doesn't fall, another kid doesn't put cooties on her, you know?
They say there's like cameras now, a lot of those. But
oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, just little stuff like that. And I think like that's a fortunate thing.
Also, journal. I forgot to say that one.
That's how you...
Yeah, that's another one where it's like, okay, meditation didn't work. I still have a lot on my mind. I feel overwhelmed. Especially if you like fuck around. I try to avoid emails as much as I can. But like if you make
Ask
the
him
mistake.
how many are sitting on the, in
I have
his
a bunch sitting in there.
Imagine.
But it's for my mental health. If you make the fucking mistake of checking your email first thing or two, like early before 11, you know what I'm saying? Guess what? You finna have some shit on your mind, on your plate. Oh, I forgot to do that. Oh, I gotta do this. And now people yanking at you in different directions. But anyway, your turn.
Dude, I wish I had something to say to it. Honestly, the only thing I do when I get sad, which is very rare, is that I just like to drink and hang out. Because a lot of people get more like they soak, you know, in their sorrow when they drink. I kind of like feeling any kind of pain and then just kind of working through it and then realizing it ain't that crucial. And then I feel happy again because booze makes me happy. It doesn't make me like weird and like most people get aggressive. Like, no, it makes me happy. I'm like, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, my thing, bro, with my personality
and good conversation, like having that.
Yeah, that's community, right?
Yeah.
Your people, your social circle.
Yeah.
With me, man, the tricky thing with me is that the career that I chose, it's like you're exposed, like you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
You're a public figure. It's not like I clock out at 5 and I don't give a fuck about whatever little work problems.
Right.
Like, fuck that company. I don't give a shit. Versus like, no, man, this is your identity. Like you're totally wrapped up and attached to the outcome. Like this shit has to work. Why? Because this shit is you.
Yeah.
You are Chingo Bling. You are the brand. If ticket sales are slow, if your views are low, if you ain't getting no likes on that, you know what I'm saying? Like not that I'm obsessed with fucking Instagram, but that leads me to my next thing, which leads the world we live in with social media, and thankfully I feel like
you were just reading this article about
Kilfies,
yes.
selfie-itis. It's like, and then you have like the FOMO aspect, but literally people, everybody's brain makeup is different, right? Some people get so sucked into like the comparisons, man, this person's on like keeping up with the Joneses, like, man, he got the new Jordans, or they're in the Dominican Republic. Fuck, why I ain't never, man, I ain't been to the beach in how long? And then like, fuck, how many likes did that selfie get? Then there's like selfie-itis.
Well,
like
that's why they're in Canada, not to cut you off, but they're Instagram's testing the no likes and no followers. You can't see them.
Awesome. They need to do that.
So
I just read an article about that.
Really? Recently?
Yeah, recently, where they said they're so Instagram is going to take away the likes.
Right.
So they're trying to take away the likes so that people are not focused on how many likes did I get, because now it's become an issue to
like
where
you
people,
as the person could see your account, but outsiders couldn't see all that information. You would just see it on the back end.
You'd have to probably hopefully you have to like dig in to see it, hopefully. Only because...
No, it's almost like it'll be on your algorithms, right? It'll be for your information only, how many people like it.
Yeah, well, I don't want to see it. I want to make it hard for me, like have it covered up even for me.
Okay. No.
Only
I want to know.
Only because...
But likes to me don't define me.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. Like, I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? For me, it's business. For me, it's seriously, for me, it's like, ooh, okay, that post didn't do good. Maybe I shouldn't post shit like that again.
Leverage, you know?
Yeah, but you have... I feel like you have to be careful about even that. Because the way the algorithms are set up, sure, from a business standpoint, it's like, oh, well, that post didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Well, according to who? Like, why? Well, because it's a post, you know. And then don't let it be like, oh, well, fuck, that was a selfie. That people don't like my face. Or it was like, it was my kid. I guess my kid ain't that cute. Or it's whatever it is. I didn't work that well.
Yeah.
But there's some shit called Kilfie, where it's like you're trying so hard to have a risky selfie that you could damn near kill yourself. And people have died. There's like a list in the USA Today of like, this person at the Grand Canyon wanted the perfect shot. This person on this ledge.
But what about the wrist thing where people were getting like, where there something about the wrist was like, or was that something
like
that I read?
tunnel or what?
Carpal tunnel from there was even an episode on the Kardashians where Kim thought she got carpal tunnel, and they said they blamed it on her being on the phone and doing the selfies.
Dude, last night, so y'all have the X Max, right? The phones, the bigger phones. I always like the regular one, but I've never gotten a pop socket or the little I forgot what it's called, little band where you stick it together. She does, but she didn't get it on her new phone. And last night she was like, I think I'm gonna get one of those pop sockets again because my pinky's starting to hurt from holding the phone up like this. And like, I'm like, yeah, you're right. And she's like, look, I got I got a dent in my pinky. I was like, that's just your pinky, weirdo. Like,
and then sometimes, like some of the girls, oh, look at that. Somebody just put not funny at all. It was a comment. That comment hurt my feelings.
Stupid.
At the show, sometimes in the VIP, we're like, where chicks are like, no, I want mine to be a selfie. Da, da, da. It's like, oh, just whatever. Just all right, fine. You want to be the exception to the rule, right? Yeah. But I notice how they're not only are they like contorting, like the body's contorting, the angle, bro, the angle of the wrist, like what you're having to do with your pinky, not only the weight of the phone on your hand, but your look at the angle. They're angling it a certain way.
For sure.
And it's almost like every picture you take, it's like I'm not trying to like.
Well, you know what's crazy?
He's a resident hater.
You know, I'm guilty. Like the other day, I was like, so I was doing.
It's just not healthy.
Research on looking up like different content and all that, like I was telling you about, and I saw 10 best ways to take a selfie, and I was like, what? Someone did a video on 10 best ways to take a selfie. I couldn't help but to click it.
Of course,
right?
They know what they're doing.
Man, there's like really some trick.
They got photos.
Let me tell you something.
Filters now.
I am the worst person at taking selfies. I fucking hate them. Like I don't know what angle is good. I don't know which side is my
silly.
I don't know which side is my good side. I'll be honest with you. You know, someone will always say, "Can we go on this side? Because it's my good side." Okay, I still don't know what my good side is.
My baby don't have a bad side. That's really what the issue is.
I mean, with filters these days, these bitches ain't got no bad side. Just
First of all, sometimes when they doing this with you, they already got some weird filter already built in. So now I'm looking like a baby face chipmunk with makeup on, with big eyes, and it's like, oh. I look at it.
Because your skin, they do something to the
skin.
They
do a bunch of shit.
I've seen one.
They do a bunch of shit.
You know, because when I go, if I work VIP, I'm the one taking the picture, and so they'll put it on the filter they want, and then I take the picture, and Pete looks like he's wearing makeup. It's so funny. I'm like,
they put like a little soft,
like a soft, But anyway, I suck at it. That's also another reason why, you know, on Tip Tuesday, if you notice, I rarely ever actually do the face thing where I talk and answer the question. Although that would be quicker and faster for me as opposed to typing the whole thing. Yeah. I always type out the answers. And that's because I just kind of like, okay, which way do I go? Like, which way do I do?
Even with me, like, I have to force myself to, like, put my face on camera. I'm usually, like, showing.
Yeah, I don't mind showing
it's like, man,
and talking. My voice is fine. But
I'm sweaty.
Me as a selfie, I don't ever know what to do with my mouth. Like
my mustache don't
by
connect
the way,
right here on this
one
side.
thing that you do, babe, for the mouth, which I've told you to do when we do photo shoots, is so you leave your mouth kind of open.
I'll be seeing gangster rappers. I don't want to say no names. I'll be seeing gangster rappers. Hey, man. Hey, fam. Props to your photographer. I could tell they rolling with you everywhere. You be here, you be there, and you got your outfits. But a lot of times, if you zoom in, it's kind of like.
So if you leave your mouth a little bit open, it doesn't make it seem like you're kind of like you're almost
because she'll be like, let me take a picture. You need some content. And I'm just like, oh, she's like, do it right. Do it like this. Act like you're stepping. Put your foot like this. And
so some things that I learned
act like you're blowing a kiss, but you're not.
But this was not a selfie one. This was another one that I found, like where you could take candid pictures.
Like you're at the airport.
Like you're at the like those I would prefer. Candid pictures I would prefer because it's like you're not really trying.
Yeah.
So she kind of walks you through.
Tómame foto.
Yeah, of like what to do that's simple and not like doesn't take up all this like selfie time. I don't really know what you call it. But I don't mind. I'd rather pictures of like, hey, babe, will you take a picture of me and Penny? Or will you take a picture of me and the girls? Or let's take a picture together, you know? Those are my kind of like, or can you record me doing this XYZ? You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of stuff, I don't mind at all. But for me to actually sit there and decide I want to show off something that I just purchased or maybe my new lips that I just got injected, which I don't, but I'm just saying like what I see out there. Maybe if like that's what my Instagram goal was,
right,
then maybe it would be I would be posting different pictures, right?
And that's where it could turn into a mental health thing.
For sure.
Because they're coming up with that. The world has changed so much because of these devices that they're now having these new like mental health diagnoses based on, hey fam, you know that amount of selfies means you more than likely have X. And I have to throw these newspapers away because I get them every day and I got to go through them, which I'm behind on, by the way. But sometimes I'll be like, oh, this is so fucking interesting. But it's like I can't hang on to all these papers like it's a bookmark or a screenshot, right? I might have taken a picture.
You know what would be cool to do, though, Pete? Now that you're talking about this, you have a planner. You should cut out the piece of the article and glue it on your calendar.
Or just throw it in there to maybe make a joke out
of what you read that day that was interesting to you, so that when you keep that journal and you go back, or keep that planner and you go back 2 years from now, you're like, oh shit, can you believe like this month when I read this was popping? You know,
we might have to Google what exactly this fucking article said, like in terms of like mental diagnosis. But look,
I don't want to put it with this, since we did 2 shows. There's only 45 seconds left on this card.
On this card.
On this, yeah.
Okay. So if you take 300 pictures and you have to go through all of them, guess what? That's how you look.
Yeah.
That's how you look. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. Another episode of What Did He Say podcast. We will see you at one of the shows, Latino as Fuck Tour.
California, here we come.
Rate, subscribe. Peace.